Welcome to Fall Summit, a story-based podcast about tales, trails, and epic fails. I'm Octavia.
And I'm Em.
Oh, Em, you don't sound so good.
I think I might be sick.
Yeah, you're a little sick.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I have a sickness
you do have a sickness.
in mind and body.
And soul.
And it's getting there.
Yeah. Do you want me to read the little what our show's about part for you because you're sick?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay.
For those of you just joining, we're going to bring you 2 stories and our thoughts on the tales, ending with trail mix, where I will bring you 3 songs, then trail etiquette and other shit.
By me.
By you.
You can do that every time.
Because you do that the same thing too every time.
By me.
By me.
Well,
By
what else? By who then? Orion's doing the
Yeah.
trail etiquette and other shit.
Yes. How are you
Orion,
today?
are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm feeling fine. I luckily have not caught your sickness,
That's amazing.
or I feel good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I hope you don't.
I mean, me
You don't
too.
usually.
I mean, knock on wood. I don't typically get sick
That's nice.
that often. Once in a while. Once in a while I'll get sick, but it's not typical. Adriana's really similar to me. She doesn't really get sick that much. Her other siblings on her dad's side of the family get sick constantly.
Constantly.
They're always going to the doctor. Maybe I just never bring her to the doctor because
you don't need to?
I don't know. I don't bring her to the doctor for every little cough, snivel, or sneeze.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
Drink water, take your homeopathic remedy, and go to bed.
Get some rest.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I was raised. We never went to the doctor for little things.
I mean, what are they going to do for the kid? And you're just building a complex,
I think so too.
But,
yeah.
To each their own.
To each their own. That's another story for another day.
Yeah. I did want to give you some feedback about the cake you made for Corey the other day.
Oh yeah, I made a cake for your manager who just got back from maternity leave.
Yes, early. Because she's a crazy person.
She is a crazy person.
They liked it.
Oh, thank goodness. Just liked? It wasn't out of this world?
No, she said it was ridiculous.
Oh,
and I clarified if it was a good way, and she said yes.
I mean, I knew it was good because, I mean, I don't make bad cakes.
Yeah.
So I want the attention. I want the positive feedback.
Sure.
I want all the good feels to supply my, endorphin kick.
Right. Everyone thought it was beautiful. We just didn't have a chance to eat it at work because it was Memorial Day weekend and it was nuts.
Yeah, busy. Was that Memorial Day weekend? I forgot it was Memorial Day until...
It was Memorial Day on Monday. It was Memorial Day weekend on the weekend.
Yeah. I forgot Memorial Day was coming up until it was already upon us.
Oh, yeah. It's upon us.
It was upon us. It is now past, yeah. Last weekend. You had to work for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I worked 5 days in a row.
Probably why you're sick.
Yeah. Because 5 days in a row, ooh, big deal. But it's long hours on your feet.
Yeah, it's 5 days, 10-hour days.
Go, 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 go. High pressure, high stress. It's a lot.
Oh, it's a lot.
Okay. Happens.
Well, yeah.
I had fun. I made good tips.
Good.
I was doing mostly floating.
Oh, good. So you just flew around the restaurant?
Yeah, it was actually... yeah, exactly. That's how it feels. No, on my pogo stick. But on what day was it? Must have been Monday. It must have been Memorial Day. No. I don't remember what day it was. It was one of those days that I worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was outside.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Was it chilly?
No, it was warm. But it was the weekend. It was the weekend because it was the, I'm so confused now. What days? My days are all getting confused. Anyway, it was a day. I was outside.
Good.
And it was not busy outside, but super busy inside. And Eva, my boss, comes out and was like, "Oh, did you bring a book?"
Did you have any tables at that point or no?
No, none.
None.
For a
Like,
good, hour and a half, 2 hours.
that's crazy. I mean, was it earlier in the day that
Yeah.
happened? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
What did you do recently? You did something fun?
Yeah, so we're getting ready for Pride Month, and, Woodstock is doing this window, competition.
Uh-huh.
It's like to see who can decorate the window the best, like the front window of all the shops in Woodstock.
Uh-huh.
And Bretalon's doing a window, obviously, because we're right in the middle of town. And so I helped paint the window. We did flowers in the colors of the LGBTQ plus flag. So it looks really nice. I can put a picture up on Instagram. It came out really good. They're not done yet, though. They want to do one more thing. They were thinking of, since it's a bakery, they were thinking of getting a bunch of baguettes and drying them out to the point where they're like hard, and then painting them in the different colors of the flag, and then like lacquering them so that they're sealed completely, and then hanging them in the front above the door. There's like a space, like an open space.
Like a wind chime.
Almost like a wind chime. I don't know if they're gonna spin around. I think they're gonna be secured with like string, because there's like a space above the door that has like a top and a bottom.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be right in that little like cubby area. I think it's gonna be really cool. Baguettes, rainbow baguettes. I mean,
I thought you meant they were gonna draw baguette
no,
in rainbow.
No, it's gonna be dried out baguettes. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. They went back and forth. They're like, could we do a miche or slices of bread? Or I think the baguettes are the winner. Gonzalo really wanted to do a mobile of bagels and like a wind chime situation with bagels.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
All different pride colors. I think all of the ideas are great. But I think they needed to.
Was it Blessing's idea that won?
It was not Blessing's idea that won. It was kind of like it wasn't just one person's idea. It was kind of a culmination of like everybody kind of spitting out ideas. Because,
sure.
Okay, so I'm there with 5 other people that all have big personalities and lots of ideas and are not afraid to talk over each other a little bit, but like also in a jovial way. So it's like Melissa, Blessing, Gonzalo, Jacqueline, and Alex. And Alex is the creative one. He's really good at drawing stuff.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. It was he did all the design on the for the window display. And Adriana was there, she helped. Although she's not in the picture that we took. Because she was already like, I did my job, I'm done. I'm going to sit in the car and play Roblox.
My God.
Yeah, she's funny. But it came out really good. And if you win, I guess you get money that goes towards the community.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like the queer community?
Like the queer community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming.
I would hope.
What's the point? You know? It's
You
not a
should
lot.
probably know that.
It's a couple $100.
Yeah, you should probably know that.
Yeah. Alex, that's what Alex said. So he just said the community. So I didn't clarify. I'm just assuming.
Should we get into our maybe stories? Do you think that would be good?
I think that we should maybe get into our stories. I wanted to say one more thing is though I was scrolling this morning, doom scrolling. I saw that there's a court that has been able to kind of put a stop to this whole tariff thing, and I need to find out if that's accurate. It was on MSNBC, so I'm assuming it is accurate. But I want to know, like, is that really happening? Like, what does that mean for the economy? What does that mean for pricing? Are we still going to end up going into a recession? Are people going to lower their prices now that they're jacked up? Like, I feel like companies, once they jack up prices, they don't just lower them because they're like, these suckers will buy anything with this price, then might as well just keep it that way.
Yeah, Maybe it's only in a certain district.
Well, the reporter on MSNBC said most tariffs, and she was kind of referring to like the big ones, like Canada, Mexico, China. So I think that we need to look into it a little bit more and see if it's accurate.
Federal court in New York blocked President Donald Trump from imposing sweeping tariffs on imports, ruling that he overstepped his authority. The Court of International Trade found that the president's use of an emergency powers law did not give him the unilateral authority to impose tariffs on most countries. This ruling specifically targeted Liberation Day tariffs imposed on April 2nd and other tariffs aimed at China, Canada, and Mexico. The court's decision made on Wednesday has the potential to significantly impact President Trump's trade policies.
That's good. That could potentially be a good thing, right? I thought this was interesting. The 3 judges that are appointed to this court system, one was appointed by Reagan, one was appointed by Obama, and one was appointed by Trump. And it was a unilateral decision, it was unanimous that they all put a kibosh to this ruling, to this tariff thing.
I think that it has the potential to be a good thing, but let's keep an eye on it and report back.
All right, you ready to get into our stories?
I am.
Story number 1
is called The Backpack. Backpack, backpack.
No.
Dora.
No. I'm gonna have nightmares.
Swipe or no swiping.
Oh, God.
Man.
Wild.
Okay. There's a rhythm to life on the Appalachian Trail. Wake up with the sun, pack up, hike, eat, hike more, sleep in a shelter, or pitch your tent under the stars. Repeat. But every now and then, something breaks that rhythm. Something weird, something wrong. This story starts just outside Daleville, Virginia, at mile marker 727. There were 5 of us leaving town that day, just a casual 10-mile hike to Wilson Creek Shelter. Easy mileage, out-of-town legs, nothing fancy. Myself and another thru hiker were bringing up the rear. We were about halfway there, locked into that zone where conversation fades, and you're just walking, listening to your own boots. And then we saw something. Right there, on the trail, it was a kitchen knife. Not just any knife, though. This thing had feathers, beads, streamers, like someone had tried to turn it into a spiritual artifact. Or maybe some backwoods cosplay attempt. It hadn't been there long. It was bone dry, no mud, no debris, just sitting there. We looked at each other. What the hell is this doing out here? We kept moving. What else do you do? When we got to Wilson Creek Shelter, the mood was off. Our crew was already there, but they weren't talking. No one was cooking. They were just kind of sitting, eyes shifting. That's when I saw it. A lone backpack sitting on the edge of the shelter platform. I asked, "Whose pack is that?" They all shook their heads. No idea. They'd been there for hours, and no one had seen a hiker. That pack hadn't just wandered in by itself. So I walked over, unzipped it, slowly. First thing I pulled out, a gallon Ziploc, packed with granola bars, then another, and another. There must have been 150 bars in there, enough to live off for weeks. And then the knives. Not 1, not 2, almost a dozen kitchen knives, all decorated, same as the one we'd found earlier. Feathers, beads, colorful streamers, like someone had spent serious time crafting these things. The pack also had all the basics: tent, sleeping bag, stove. All of it looked brand new. That's when it hit us. This wasn't someone who lost their gear. This wasn't a drop pack. This was a message. We didn't know what kind of message, but it was enough to shake us. We debated. Sun was going down. Shadows were stretching long. Eventually, we made the call to the local sheriff's department. 3 hours later, around 10 p.m., we saw lights bobbing through the woods. I had a stick in my hand. I wasn't taking any chances. 2 deputies stepped into the firelight. Friendly guys, clearly not the A-team. One of their flashlights was flickering like it was running on AAA's from 1997. They started poking through the pack. One of them, no joke, started eating the granola bars as he poked around. And then they pulled something we hadn't found. A note. They unfolded it and read it aloud. I don't remember all the words, but I'll never forget the beginning. I am the one who killed his father. You may not know me now, but soon you will all know who I am. My work here on the AT is done. The whole shelter went dead quiet. The deputies stiffened. One started calling it in on the radio. They packed everything up quickly and told us they had to hike back out. They apologized, and disappeared into the woods with their dying flashlight. And just like that, we were alone again. None of us slept that night. I stealth camped in the woods with a clear view of the shelter. Every squirrel sounded like footsteps, every breeze like breathing. At dawn, a real sheriff arrived. Ronnie Sprinkles, yep, real name, and a deputy. They asked us questions, took notes. We moved on. Days passed. The trail kept rolling. Then, a week later, we hiked into Buena Vista for a resupply. That's when a random hiker walked up to us. He had a regional newspaper in his hand. Right there on the front page was our story. A 16-year-old kid had murdered his father in cold blood, stolen his credit cards, bought gear online, hit the Appalachian Trail to disappear. The night we found his backpack, he dropped it just hours before. It was one of the most chilling things I'd ever experienced. The trail teaches you to trust strangers, to rely on the kindness of people passing through the woods with you. But that night, I learned something else. Sometimes, the scariest thing on trail isn't a bear, or a storm, or the dark. Sometimes, it's what another human being is willing to do.
That story was insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine checking a backpack and finding a bunch of knives in it?
No, and especially ones that had been purposely decorated for.
Yeah, what's with the purposely was his family just were the knives always like that? Like that's how
I
his
doubt it.
parents had the knives were always decorated like that? Or did he do it after the fact? And also
No, before the fact. I think he was prepping for that.
Oh, ritualistic. Also, it said in the story that he murdered his family and then stole his father's credit card and bought a bunch of stuff online.
Right.
So how long was he living with the bodies? Because if you're buying stuff online, it takes time for it to be delivered.
True. So a while.
At least a few days, maybe a week.
Oh, God.
Right?
That's so disturbing.
Unless they were wrong, unless he took the credit card to a store and bought them. That's the only way I can. If he stole his father's credit card and bought a bunch of stuff online, that's the only way I can say how it would be possible. Would be he was living with his family, dead family. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And how old did they say he was?
I think it was 16. Like a kid. Yeah, 16. That's wild.
I can't even imagine.
Also, I mean, the amount of granola bars in the backpack makes sense now, though.
Yes, but also I don't understand why he left it there.
Yeah. Maybe he was planning on coming back for it. Maybe he just stashed it there and was going to do something in the woods.
Why would he leave that note then?
Well, the note, because the note was in the backpack.
Right? Why would he do that?
Maybe on some level he wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
Maybe the backpack was too heavy and he was like, "This is heavy." Also, I wish I knew how he was captured, how they caught him.
Should we look it up?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what year. I think it was just 2003 this happened.
Teen murders. Father. And goes to Appalachian Trail. Okay, here's something. Present claims of sexual abuse as to why he killed his father.
That unfortunately that's why he would be this messed up to kill his father.
Cubbage contends that he was sexually abused by his father from 2001 into 2003, the day before his father was shot. Killing his father was the only way for Cubbage to avoid harm. Cubbage told police that he was upset with his father because he wanted his son to do more work around the house and was a strict disciplinarian. The prosecutor also said Cubbage had friends over for parties twice while his father's body was wrapped in a blanket in the house. The slaying was discovered after hikers on the Appalachian Trail in southwestern Virginia found a confession note in a backpack on May 8, 2003. The note had been left in a shelter and was signed with the name Shane Cubbage, according to authorities. The note's author described how he had killed his father in Chesapeake and escaped to the mountains near Roanoke, according to court records. The day after the note was found, detectives went to the family's house and found the body of Forrest Cubbage. The teenager told police that he shot his father in the back of the head while Mr. Cubbage was hanging wallpaper. The victim's wife, a Navy chief petty officer, was at sea when the killing occurred. She attended the plea hearing but made no comment. He was 16, an Eagle Scout, and a junior at Hickory High School, where he had a 3.6 grade point average and no criminal history.
It doesn't say how they caught him. Oh, that's sad. That's sad because it's like, it's not just a disturbed child. It's an abused child who
Allegedly. We should believe that they should.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
That kind of abuse definitely has ramifications, on the psyche. And do I sympathize with the killer? A little. I mean, do I think it's right? No, none of it's right.
The sad part is if he had just applied himself and made those knives and sold them on Etsy, he'd be doing really well.
Gosh. We didn't even see the product.
I know, but it sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
Ready for story number 2?
Yeah. I'm absolutely ready for story number 2. Story number 2 is called Gone. Like Gone with the Wind.
Or Gone Away.
Yeah. Gone Away?
Or Gone Girl.
Or Gone Girl, yeah. I wonder if it's going to be more like Gone Girl than Gone with the Wind.
Probably. Knowing our brains.
Well, here we go. There's a lot to be said about confidence. It can get you through brutal climbs, storms, awkward trailhead small talk, but sometimes it'll carry you straight past a campsite, into the dark, and all the way to DC. Last year, a crew of 4 friends set out to do a section of the Shenandoah National Park. Just a casual midday trip through one of the most beautiful stretches of the trail on the East Coast. Forests like cathedrals, waterfalls, a trail that rolls like a soft wave. They had the plan, the maps, the gear. And then there was that guy. He was a last-minute addition to the group. Let's just call him Brent, because, of course, his name was Brent. He showed up at the trailhead like he'd just stepped out of a time machine. His pack was an ancient olive drab canvas thing with no hip belt, no frame, basically just a sack with straps. You looked at it and you can hear your spine wince. Y'all good? Brent asked, flexing unnecessarily. I'll be fine. Not only was he fine, he insisted on carrying an extra tent for a friend who'd be joining them on the final day for the last 10-mile stretch. Add to that a full bear can, all his gear, and a boulder-sized protein ego. To be fair, Brent crushed the first 2 days. By mid-afternoon, they hit a trail sign. They all agreed to push 1 more mile to a spring where they'd set up camp. Easy enough? But something shifted on that last mile. Brent's pace nosedived. The spring was downhill, rocky and twisted. Everyone started peeling off into the campsite one by one. But Brent, he was gone. An hour passes, then another. No Brent. The group started getting nervous. They split. 2 backtracked to scan the trail. 2 ahead further down, asking other hikers. Hey, have you seen a dude with a raggedy military pack and no hip belt? Responses range from casual to apologetic. Yeah, saw him maybe 2 or 3 miles back. Oh yeah, he's gone. Turns out Brent missed the spring. Like, completely missed it. He just kept trekking down the trail, alone, into the night, thinking the group was ahead of him. He marched through the entire third day's hike on day 2, a full 20 miles, carrying 2 tents and a bear can, with no hip belt. The sun set, still no Brent. Meanwhile, at the Thornton Gap parking lot, it's now 10 p.m. Brent finally stops. He was about to set up one of his 2 tents when a dusty old van rolled up. Behind the wheel is a white-haired hippie who might have once been at Woodstock or is currently returning from it. You need a ride, the man asks. Brent, never one to turn down an impromptu ride into the unknown, hops in. They roll off through the dark hills of Virginia, heading to the least likely destinations, Washington, D.C. Once he got to D.C., the hippie dropped him off at the 7-Eleven parking lot. Under a flickering fluorescent light, he called his wife in Baltimore at midnight and said, "Hey, can you come pick me up?" From D.C.
Oh my God.
Wild. That's wild. So he just kept going. 20 miles in the night, in through the night?
I don't what?
Yeah. Why?
I'm very what?
Why wouldn't you have been like, oh, fuck, I don't know where these guys went. Let me stop for the night.
Because it sounds like he was in his own universe. Like, he was, like, not all there. What the hell?
Maybe he's like, yeah, maybe he's just like in the zone. Maybe he's like, this feels great. I'm doing my thing. But then he's like,
or like looking for adventure at all costs. Like,
he has a tent for his friend. Like, now his friend doesn't have his little tent.
But like, maybe he's one of those, like, go with the flow. This is what life is taking me. Like, this is cosmic intervention. Like, I must be going on this path for a reason. What the
or maybe
hilarious.
I have a better idea.
What?
He didn't like them.
Oh yeah, to begin with.
He didn't like them. He was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm out. I need to get home.
And or there wasn't really a friend coming.
I mean, I think there was a friend coming.
But maybe he called his friend and was like, nah, these people are weird.
Maybe.
I don't like them.
I don't like them.
Meet me somewhere else.
Yeah, let's get out of here. These people are annoying as shit.
Maybe at the 7-Eleven. I can get a Slurpee.
Yeah.
I like their Slurpees.
Oh, that's so funny. I listened to one of the podcasts I listened to. She always gets 7-Eleven Slurpees. Like,
good.
Addicted. But and she lives in Canada.
They're good.
Aren't they like any other Slurpee?
No, they're just good.
I'm not a big Slurpee fan. I can't drink it fast enough.
And then it just gets liquidy?
No, I get a brain freeze. And it hurts.
If you don't drink it fast, how do you get a brain freeze?
Because I do drink it fast.
You said I can't drink it fast.
Right, because then I'll get a brain freeze. Oh, I had a root beer float yesterday.
What?
I had a root beer float yesterday.
I know. Where's mine? All I got was the stupid cheesecake flavor.
Yeah, I got you ice cream. I said I'm going.
I wanted a root beer float.
Well, I didn't know that.
I would have loved a root beer float.
Okay, next
And
time.
also, I would have loved Yummy Kitchen.
Oh yeah, I would have loved Yummy Kitchen too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time I will get you Yummy Kitchen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should we get into trail mix?
I would love to get into trail mix.
Great. Trail mix. First on the list is Questions by Buffalo Springfield. This lesser-known gem from Buffalo Springfield feels like the half-lit cousin of their better-known tracks. Written by Stephen Stills and released in 1968 on Last Time Around, their final album before splintering, which means like they disbanded. Yeah, God, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions is a slow burner, a deceptively mellow folk rock tune that quietly wrestles with big uncertainty. Stills later reworked this track into the epic Carry On with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, but in this original form, it's more intimate. The instrumentation is sparse, delicate acoustic strumming, brush drums, and Still's plaintive voice asking, "Why do I feel like I'm losing you?" It's a song stuck in the pause between thoughts, not heartbroken exactly, but circling the idea. The melody drifts like dust notes. Nope. The melody drifts like dust motes in afternoon light. Buffalo Springfield was short-lived but hugely influential, and Questions captures the band at their most introspective. It's the sound of uncertainty not needing to resolve itself, of someone content or trapped in the middle of a thought spiral. Next on the list is Dunes by Alabama Shakes. This song opens like a mirage shimmering in the heat. Dunes from Alabama Shakes' 2015 Grammy-winning album Sound and Color is part southern rock, part soul, part psychedelic space trip. It's also deeply personal. Brittany Howard, the band's powerhouse frontwoman, channels paranoia and existential dread into something both raw and mystical. The lyrics paint a surreal desertscape. The dunes, they chew and swallow me. It's not literal, it's a metaphor for feeling lost, buried, overwhelmed by the world's shifting terrain. The guitars are woozy, the groove slightly off kilter, and Howard's voice cuts through it all. Fierce one moment, feather light the next. She's not just singing about unease, she's inside it, shaping it into sound. Dunes is the heaviest emotional anchor in this mix. It doesn't offer resolution, but it does offer power. The catharsis of saying, I don't understand this world, and letting that be okay. Last but not least, Houdini by Foster the People. And then, The Escape Act. Because of Houdini. Yeah. Houdini, the punchy electropop track from Foster the People's 2011 debut Torches, is all bounce and swagger until you dig a little deeper. Named after the famous escape artist, the song wrestles with the tension between authenticity and performance. Sometimes I want to disappear. Mark Foster wrote the song partly in response to the pressure of being on all the time, socially, creatively, existentially. It's a funhouse mirror version of Burnout, wrapped in danceable beats, glittering synths, and tight production. The hand claps and chopped vocals feel like stage tricks, but the core idea, slipping out of expectations, is pretty universal. Houdini might be the lightest sounding song in this mix, but it's also the most sly. It's the grin of someone who's quietly unlocking the handcuffs beneath the table. That sounds kinky.
Yeah, it does.
Kinky.
Kinky.
That's it.
Thank you, Em.
You're welcome.
That was a great trail mix.
Thank you so much.
Now we're going to get into trail etiquette and other shit.
I cannot wait for this.
We're going to talk about plant safety. Plant safety.
Plant safety?
Avoid injury by learning to identify dangerous plants before you hit the trail. While it's tempting to pick wildflowers, leaving plants undisturbed is key to leave no trace principles. It helps you avoid painful contacts. Are you allergic to any plants, Em?
Poison ivy.
You're allergic to poison. Are you allergic to poison oak too?
Probably. I've never tried it.
Yeah, me neither. I have not tried it either. What about sumac? Have you ever touched sumac?
I haven't.
I'm allergic to poison ivy. I'm very allergic. I once got it over my entire body. What happened is at my old house there was a bush and it was spring. And the bush it was like early spring, so like there was barely any buds on anything. And I had just moved into this house. And I wanted to kind of like trim up some stuff, and there was this bush by the garage, and I was trimming it, and I didn't realize that 99% of the bush was a poison ivy. It was just poison ivy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was like a different variety. It wasn't really viney. It was more like it had like twisting things coming. It must have been there for years to have become so established. And what probably happened is it was a bush at one point, and then the poison ivy kind of wrapped itself around the bush. The bush is now dying, and it's leaving just these very healthy, very oily poison ivy branches or whatever. So I'm cutting it away. I then the next day had poison ivy on my chest, on my stomach, on my arms, on my legs. I think I had some like on my neck. It was everywhere. It was awful.
Oh my God.
So then I was like, I don't understand where I got all this poison ivy from. So I sent a picture of a couple of the pieces that I had cut off to my mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's poison ivy." It didn't have the 3 leaves yet. Like, it was so early in the season, it didn't have any identifying features that I would identify, but she's much more plant.
Yikes.
She's more like, she knows her plants better than I do. So be careful out there. You never know.
That's crazy.
But we're gonna learn about poisonous plants.
Thank
Plants to
goodness.
avoid. Poisonous plants. Know the local hazards like poison ivy and poison oak. Good rule. Leaves of 3, let it be. These plants contain urushiol oil, which can cause intense itching. Wear long sleeves in areas where these plants are common. Stinging plants. Watch out for stinging nettle. It can cause temporary irritation similar to poison ivy. Chamomile lotion or baking soda can soothe the itch. I have run into stinging nettle. Have you ever run into stinging nettle?
I think so.
It's not fun.
I think, but like, I don't think it like got too far
into your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had it done before. It's not fun. Here's some first aid tips. Wash any affected area with soap and warm water as soon as possible to remove plant oils. Avoid spreading the oil to your eyes or face. Don't snack on the trail. Avoid eating wild berries, even ones that look familiar. They might be toxic or a critical food source for wildlife. Allergies. Spring hikes can trigger allergies due to pollen, carry antihistamines, especially in new environments where unfamiliar plants may cause unexpected reactions. When in doubt, if you're unsure about a plant or a reaction, consult a doctor or seek medical attention immediately. Immediately.
911.
911. What?
What's the number for 911? Do you know it?
Damn, I always forget this one.
It's easy. It's just like the name.
911?
Yes.
Oh my God. It's wild.
Wow.
On that note, final thoughts?
Yeah, the first story was wild.
The first story was wild. The second story was, I think I could have used a little bit more information on this guy who was obviously,
I want to know, like,
crazy, but
know more.
Yeah, but it gives me a good chance to speculate on his intentions.
This is why I want to do more like true crime stuff, because like it's just interesting. It grabs your attention. Like,
Yeah,
this kid, I want to know about his whole story. Like, did he get convicted? Is he in jail now?
yeah,
Probably.
Well, that's why we're gonna do the After Dark thing.
Yeah.
In January.
No.
2026. Avi. We never said which January. So you have some time.
You know.
I should go back and delete that from the episode. So it's kind of misleading. Yeah, I thought that the first one was insane. I can't imagine being those hikers after finding that pack and realizing that whoever left it was clearly unhinged. And
Yeah,
then
even if it wasn't true, like, that person's clearly unhinged.
Well, they didn't know anything. They didn't know anything. They were just speculating the entire time of like whose pack this was, who left it,
Right.
Are they still there? You know, are they around the corner? Am I gonna get murdered? Do they still have weapons on them? Like, they found that other knife on the trail. So like, what if there was other knives that he took out of the bag and he's just waiting around to? But it sounded like this kid was more, it was emotion driven killing. It was like he killed his father from an emotional state instead of just like a random stranger killing.
Yeah.
You know, which is, I think, a random stranger killing is scary. Maybe. I mean, they're both scary. They're both terrifying.
But overall, I like both our stories. I thought they were both interesting, and I want to know where. I keep thinking Jeff Bezos. That's not right. Brent. Brent is.
Yeah.
What is he up to?
I want to know why he left.
Why did he leave?
I feel like
did he get a Slurpee?
Did he get a Slurpee?
If he got a Slurpee, what flavor did he get? Or did he combine them like a freak?
Oh, is that a freak thing to do?
I think it's freak in a good way.
That's a good freak.
Let your freak flag show.
Yeah.
Any other things?
No, I think you can find links in our show notes. Check out our Patreon. And we have some merch at our merch store.
Merch.
Baby.
Maybe.
Yeah, we still have some of those sweatshirts that say don't fall off a cliff.
Don't fall off a cliff. So that's it from us crazy people here at Fall Summit, where every mountain is just one more almost there. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, maybe that's your epic fail for the week. Haha. And hey, if you've got any questions, stories, or trail fails of your own, hit us up. Email us at fallsummit.pod@gmail.com or fallsummit on Instagram. We'll be back next week with more tales of misadventures and questionable decisions. Until then, happy trails.
And remember, if it feels like you've reached the top, you probably haven't.
See you out there.